In a disturbing trend, certain states are pushing for an increase in physician-assisted suicide. In both California and Colorado, doctors can currently be forced by law to participate in physician-assisted suicide, even if ending a life goes against their own moral beliefs. In Colorado, the number of people being prescribed medication to end their lives rose by 18% in 2021, according to the Colorado Sun. However, only 28% of Colorado doctors surveyed are willing to serve as the attending physician when patients choose to take these death-inducing pills. Doctors in Massachusetts could soon be facing similar discrimination, as a case before the Commonwealth's Supreme Court could potentially overturn a law that prohibits physician-assisted suicide. And joining us now for more details is Chris Schandevel, who serves as Senior Counsel for Alliance Defending Freedom. Chris, thanks for joining me today. Can you explain why we're seeing this disturbing rise in physician-assisted suicide and what might be done to put a stop to it?
Sure. So I think it's really tragic that there really is this push by advocates for physician-assisted suicide really across the country to increase the availability and to increase the opportunities for people who oftentimes are vulnerable and at risk and at a very difficult time in their lives and already feel like they're a burden on their families and the people who care for them, to really offer those people what seems like a quick and easy exit. And unfortunately, as we're seeing, when those opportunities are made available, when there's so little oversight and so few safeguards, and that the safeguards that are put in place are immediately challenged, that sadly we are seeing those numbers rising. We just think that it's something that unfortunately will continue unless more people rise up and recognize the impacts that it's going to have really on all of us, because the medical profession touches all of us at some point in our lives, and this is an issue that will continue to have prevalence throughout the country.
That's right. And can you share the details of this Massachusetts case? I understand you recently argued in favor of their current law, which right now prohibits physician-assisted suicide there.
I did have the opportunity to argue that case. So that's a lawsuit brought by two doctors, one of whom himself, sadly, has stage 4 prostate cancer. So he filed a lawsuit along with another doctor arguing that under the Massachusetts Constitution, patients should have a fundamental right to have access to lethal medication from their doctors in order to end their lives. And so whereas in, I think, 9 states plus the District of Columbia, the legislatures have passed laws legalizing physician-assisted suicide, this is particularly dangerous because it would find not just that it's legal, but that patients have a fundamental right to lethal medication. And once a court holds that there's a fundamental right to this, there really are no limitations that can be placed on it. And so that's why we quickly got involved in that lawsuit and why we were so thankful to have the opportunity to argue last month there in the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court.
And Chris, what's your response to those who think that doctors shouldn't have a say when their patients want to kill themselves, want to end their lives?
So many doctors and medical professionals, my mom is a nurse, my wife is a nurse, my brother is a doctor. So many medical professionals get into the practice of medicine, because of their faith, because of their religious convictions, because of their desire, to be a healer for patients in need of care. And what we're seeing, unfortunately, in states that have legalized physician-assisted suicide, states like Colorado and California, initially it starts out as, well, we'll make sure we protect the conscience rights of medical professionals who don't want to participate. But very quickly, the rug is pulled out from under those doctors and medical professionals. And we're seeing, states forcing medical professionals who don't want to participate in death, who want to continue to serve the role as healers, being forced to choose between their religious convictions and their jobs. And if those medical professionals are driven out of the practice of medicine, that really doesn't benefit anyone.
I could not agree more. We have to stand up for the deeply held beliefs of these medical professionals. Chris Schandevel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Prudence.